Well folks, there you have it. Planet Coaster 2 has been officially announced. The sequel is aiming to be the best roller coaster theme park game ever made, and I've got a bunch of screenshots, information, and maybe some exclusive tidbits to try and show you how they're going to achieve that. If you haven't seen the trailer, it went up on the channel just a moment ago. Let's not waste any more time and let's dive right in. The big key new feature is of course water parks, adding a big dose of colour, variety and general wetness to your theme parks. You'll have a ton of control over this new addition to the franchise. You're going to be able to build and customize the pools, but also each individual piece of the new water slides, its shape, its position, its colour. If you want to make a Technicolor monstrosity, well, nobody's stopping you, you can do whatever you like. We'll have more on this throughout the video. Now this will of course also require new management facilities. You can see in this screenshot we've got a lifeguard standing at duty, ready to save any would-be drowners, or not if she's having a bad day. We got a little preview of Planet Coaster 2 recently and found out that along with providing lifeguards, you'll also need to provide ways to acquire sunscreen, you'll need to give your guests shade if they're going to stand in a long queue, you'll also need changing rooms as well so your guests can swap between appropriate clothing. Hopping to the trailer for a moment, we can see one of those new customizable pieces I mentioned. We've got transparent water slide sections towards the bottom right, which is already very cool. But above that, this new waiting room piece, I don't know what you'd call it, basically means the whole world can see your guest as they wait to be dropped down the chute. The guy at the top releases a lever, the platform slips out of the way and your guest goes pew, and that's the exact sound effect they make. I provided the sound effects, obviously. Moving to this wider shot really shows off how seamlessly the water parks can be integrated into your wider theme parks. But if we enhance, like we're in an episode of CSI, we can focus in on some interesting new items. Now, just like Planet Zoo did, Planet Coaster 2 now has distinct themes. We've got the original Planet Coaster theme still, but there's also now a resort, basically a tropical sort of theme. There's a Viking theme, there's a mythological theme, very excited. And what you're seeing here is pieces from the new deep sea aquatic theme. Dolphins, coral, big ol' rocks. And if we hop to another screenshot, you can see the resort theming here in the center. Now Planet Zoo players will definitely recognize some of these pieces. But there's two particularly cool things here I want to point out. First, on this whirly ride to the right, plenty of new rides are going to be joining the fray, by the way. It's not just water park stuff, there are new roller coasters. You can see this rubber ring built into the ride. We saw this new mechanic during the preview where basically rides are going to have these pre-established sections, these like zones, where you can add decorative pieces. And if you stick them within those sections, then those decorations will animate and they'll move with the ride appropriately. Basically, you can customize your coaster carts, all of them or just one of them, and it'll move along with your roller coaster. Or other coaster bits, as we'll see. Because if we jump back into the trailer, you can see this in action. You can see the circular portion of this teacup ride is the decorative zone. If you could see it in management, you'd see like a golden circle around here. So the player builds this very cool deep sea submarine, and that submarine will then rotate around as the teacup ride does. It's going to allow for some awesomely inventive and decorative rides. The other thing I wanted to point out is just these gigantic jellyfish decorations. I love them, that's all there is to it, I love them, so I thought you should see them. There's actually even more increased ride customization though, and I haven't got to the big customization increase. But as you can see on this whirly ride, the colours have been changed as you would expect, but the arms of the machine have this floral pattern. In the preview we saw a bunch of these, I think there was maybe 10 or 8 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me. But we saw a bunch of these, and the rides and items have like a set series of patterns you can click through and colour to customise your rides a little bit further. It's an added little dose of customizability and va-va-voom. You can see the pattern again here in this new standing roller coaster. The same floral pattern has been applied along the base of the roller coaster in entirely new colours. It's a shame it's the same pattern because I'd like to show it off, but this could have been stripes or waves or demons if you wanted. Maybe not demons. Maybe, I can't remember if there's a demon pattern. King Coaster of course returns, but this time he has a partner in crime and her name's Queen Water? Queen Pool. I did get told her name, but I've entirely, it's Queen something. She's a baller anyway. But what we're going to use this screenshot to showcase is, for me, the biggest new feature of Planet Coaster 2, and indeed Frontier games in general, the one that made me lose my mind a little bit: scaling. You can see these kelp pieces in the background. Now, some of these may be inherently different pieces of kelp, kelp 01, kelp 02, etc. But the best thing we saw during the preview, for me as the way I build parks, was that some decorations, assumingly not all of them, but plenty of them, will be able to be scaled. That is, you'll be able to change the size of individual decorations. I've been begging for this for Planet Zoo, and I'm so excited to see it come to life in Planet Coaster 2. From what I saw, you can scale 50% in either direction, so you can make an item 50% of its original size, or you can make it 150% of its original size. It's not the full kit and caboodle, but it's going to be incredible for park decorating nonetheless. Cutting to this wider shot, we can see a ton of rides, decorations, pools, all, living in harmony. World peace has been achieved. You can see the teacup ride with the decorative pieces around, making the queue a lot more interesting. But one of the other big new features of Planco 2, and it's quite a hard one to show in an image or a trailer, is the new pathing tools. Now, we didn't get to see these in action, but we were told that pathing has been updated to make sort of plazas and big wide open areas a lot easier to build. Pathing was probably the worst part of Planet Zoo by the end, if we're honest. So I'm really hoping for some good, meaningful changes here, and this is a good step in that direction. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out when we get our hands on it. Whilst we didn't get to see the Viking or mythological themes, and the latter in particular I really am excited for, the Kraken is surely returning. We did get to see a good chunk of the resort theme, as well as that deep sea one we've been seeing throughout the video. Thatch roof wooden huts, aggressively cool shark mascots, surfboards, flowers, weird ball hanging light things, and my best buddy statue over there on the left. It's a natural fit for the water park themes. The final screenshot and final thing for me to talk about in terms of shiny new features, not really an appropriate screenshot for it, but it's the last one I've got. There's a new event sequencer tool, which means you can control when your animatronics will activate during certain parts of the ride. Let's say you want your Kraken to choose and devour the smallest child when the roller coaster hits the apex. Well, you probably can't do that, but you can do something similar to that. In the same way that modern theme parks work, you'll now be able to do the same thing, have your animatronics activate at certain points, do certain things at certain points. Again, it's the kind of thing I dream about when I'm playing Planet Zoo even, so to have that kind of customizability and control is going to be awesome. There's also a new build with friends function, wherein you can have a shared save file with somebody. You can only build one at a time, but then you can easily pass your park back and forth between you and work on it collaboratively, which sounds awesome to me. There's also a way to share your completed parks directly in-game. No more save file passing around like we do at the moment. There's also a crab! The most important thing in the video. That's a lot of stuff. All told, it seems Planet Coaster 2 is really upping the game, not only from Planet Coaster 1, but from Planet Zoo as well. We've got item scaling, water parks, deeper management pun, new themes, new roller coaster rides, coaster customization, park sharing and shared save systems, ride patterns, new pathing tools, crabs, and more await you in Planet Coaster 2. Will you take the plunge? Will I make more water-based puns before the video is over? No, because it's over. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you're all as excited as I am for Planet Coaster 2. Stick around on the channel for all the latest news on the game as we get it, and there's a playlist you can follow in the description for all the updates and speculation on the game. Let's hope Planet Coaster 2 can make a big splash when it... Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done now. Thank you for joining me. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.